Hey y'all. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Let's Mom Bitch. I am your host, Alonda, and I'm so happy you chose to tune in today. This is episode number 27. If you don't like me, you don't like my child. I have a guest.
What's happening, good people? Hope everybody's doing well out there.
As y'all should know by now, this is my husband, Shay, and I, at the last minute, asked him to join me today. So we going to get it popping for y'all as usual.
Yes, yes.
How was your week, Daddy?
I had a pretty good week. Work is starting to slow down a little bit, so this is more like my chill time. Almost my hibernation period. We haven't gotten there quite yet, but it's coming.
Yeah, and I had a good week as well. Normal work week. The last time we spoke, I was telling you all that Shay and I had a date night. It turned out to be one of the best date nights we had in a long time. It was very eventful.
Hmm.
We were able to drop the kids off at the babysitter, and then we went to a Mexican restaurant that the food was pretty good. After that, we went
It was
to
alright.
it was pretty good. I mean,
Yeah,
I couldn't care. I didn't care for
the
the fake
spinach dip.
spinach dip. It was like some
Oh, so
very
good.
thin queso cheese, and then they just threw some spinach leaves in it.
Sprinkle, sprinkle,
So
sprinkle.
they could never. I guess you shouldn't get spinach dip in a Mexican restaurant, but it was decent food. I mean, it wasn't nasty. Like if I was in that area, I
The
would go
food, yeah,
back
the food was
there.
good. It was just
Yeah,
that spinach dip for me.
and their
Put me
drinks
off.
were strong. I liked my
So
drink.
it was an overall good experience. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So we did that. We went to the haunted house. I'm scary in general, but I could have really took Tristan. We could have took Tristan to that. I didn't want to take him because I didn't know how scary it would be. I've been to some pretty scary haunted house attractions, so I was hoping it would be like that, but it was all right.
I mean, the last I can't remember the last time I don't know. I don't know if I went with my kids when they was coming up. I tend to think I didn't, but I know we went to like Six Flags during like how Six Flags do the Halloween thing.
Yeah.
We did do that. So, but yeah, it's actually like going to a haunted house. That was my first time in a minute, and I was not impressed.
Yeah, the last one I went to, it was in South Carolina. And I liked it. It was so many different things they took you through. Like they first start you off on, I think it was Jeepers Creepers 2, the one where they was on the school bus in Jeepers
Hmm.
Creepers. So how that one started, you got on the Jeepers Creepers bus, the school bus, and it like drove you through like this forest or whatever. And while you was driving through, Jeepers Creepers was like jumping on the
Oh
I
shit!
guess they was out in the forest or whatever. They was jumping on the
Yeah, that seems like.
thing, and then they drop us off in the cemetery. Then you have to walk through the cemetery to get to the haunted
Oh yeah,
house.
oh yeah.
And then you go to the haunted house, and then the shit was scary as fuck. And then the Texas Chainsaw Massacre dude chased me out that motherfucker. And then when you come out, then you wait for your ride, like on the you go through like the haunted corn maze. So you
Mm.
on one of those
Yeah, that sounds like
flatbed,
a top notch.
yeah. And then you go through that, and then Hellraiser kept messing with me because he knew I was scared. So he would pop
Mm-hmm.
out throughout the whole time I was there. And finally at the end on the ride through the corn maze, I wasn't scared anymore. But the whole time they had me scared. This was nothing like that. So maybe next year or maybe before Halloween comes up, we could find another one here and maybe it'll be scarier. But that definitely wasn't.
Maybe.
But it was a good night. And then after that, like, well, first of all, we had got the skip the line pass. It definitely worth it because the line was very long. We probably would have been
Yeah,
standing
right.
there for like 30 minutes before we
30,
got
40
in.
minutes
And
easy.
then it only to walk through it was only what, like 10-15 minutes.
It's about 10, 12, yeah.
Yeah, so we got
Mm-hmm.
in there. We skipped the line. Like as soon as we got there, we passed all them people and we was able to get
It
on
was
through.
raining too. It
It
was
was
real
raining. It's
chilly.
starting to rain. And
Yeah,
we
them
got in
was
there. It
fun.
was 10 minutes, and then by that time it was early as hell. I was like, "Shit, we ain't get a babysitter just for
I
this."
know that's right.
So we went bowling at Stars and Strikes, and we had an awesome time.
Good show. Real
We
good show.
ended up picking up the kids about an hour 30 minutes to an hour earlier than we had planned, but it still was a good night.
Great night for sure.
Tristan had his last football game today. Um, I will say that I like the season because Tristan, I was a little worried, but Tristan said he wanted to play like regular football. I was a little concerned because he's kind of small. He's doesn't really get outside and stuff a lot. He's always playing the game and the like the game systems, the PS5. So I was just concerned that he didn't realize how hard football was going to be and how he was going to get hit and it was going to hurt and the physical demands that he would have and how often he would have to practice because the last two sports he played, it was like a recreational team, so it was kind of like just laid back, just for fun, you know what I'm saying? So like they literally practiced for like an hour and then they would have their game after practice every Saturday, you know what I'm saying? But so I didn't think that Tristan understood like what he was about to get himself into, but he really proved me wrong. And he really showed us that it was something that he wanted to do. He was having fun doing it, and he really improved on his skill from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. Now, unfortunately, they only won one game this season, so it was kind of like a drag the last few weeks. But I am happy and proud of him that he did something he wanted to do, and he seemed to have done a good job.
Yeah, and he made it through in one piece. Shit, that was the main thing I was concerned about. I've seen young men get their legs broke, you know what I'm saying? A little easy, simple football play. But yeah, he came through. I think he had a little ankle issue for a week, a few days.
Which turned out to be nothing because the x-ray didn't show anything, thank goodness. But he definitely was in pain for about a week, and then it got better. So
yeah, you can twist your ankle in any sport, so
yeah,
it is what it is. So he definitely improved also, even with his stamina, and everything. Because when we first got there, they make him run the full lap, or wherever, the football field, and he was like one of the last 2, 3 to come on in. He moved on up to, at least half, the top half of the team making it back first. So yeah, he started out on the offensive line, little guy, but he ended up playing more cornerback and wide receiver when he was able to get in.
Yeah. Sure. And that was awesome because I didn't know, I had absolutely no idea what position Tristan would play going into it. Because like I said, I just didn't see him as a football player. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see him being able to physically handle the sport, but he proved us wrong, definitely.
Yeah, he definitely came on through. Proud of him.
I do want to give y'all a little update because I know I didn't do this on the last episode, but a couple weeks ago I was telling you all that Nyla had hand, foot, and mouth, and I didn't understand where she got it from because one of the main reasons we pulled her out of daycare was so she wouldn't get as sick. Like, we definitely wasn't naive to think that she wouldn't get sick at all just because she wasn't in daycare. But just like the limited contact with people and other kids, you wouldn't think that she would have got anything like hand, foot, and mouth. And I just couldn't. I was racking my brain to try to figure out where it came from. Then it hit me. That Saturday before, I had took her to a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese, and it was packed in there. And that's absolutely why I believe that she picked up hand, foot, and mouth, because generally it's when you're around a bunch of kids and it's very contagious. So it spreads throughout the children. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of unlikely for you to get it from just going to a grocery store or something like that, even though it's possible. But I just, like I said, I was racking my brain because she wasn't around any kids. And then I remembered she was around some kids. So she definitely picked it up at Chuck E. Cheese.
She fought through it after a couple of days.
I think it also helped that we knew how to handle it this time because we had been through it and basically alternating that Tylenol and Motrin and just keeping her drinking fluids even if she can't, like, not even really being concerned about her eating, but as long as she was drinking the fluids, then she was good. But it seemed like as she was since we kept her medicated, she was able to eat more food.
Yeah, at first, yeah, the mouth was tender. So
um I was talking to Shay just to get back briefly about the Tristan and football. It was like so much stuff going on this season that made me like real aggravated with the team, like how some of the parents was acting, and sometimes I didn't agree with stuff that the coaches were saying or whatever. One of the big things that I didn't agree with was like every time the coach got on there to vent, he was talking about how the other teams got this and the other teams got that because their parents buy into the program. Well, what do you mean? Because this is me and Shay's first, experience with being football parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think any parent on any team was just walking in there and saying, "Hey, I got $500 for y'all to do whatever you want." When you talk about teams and their parents buying into the team, but y'all never approached us about anything to buy into to make the team better, then what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? And that was a common thing he would say. And then like about a week or so ago, I went off. Like I was like, y'all got to communicate better. I don't understand what y'all mean. And then I was talking to the coach, and he was telling me it wasn't a personal attack, and I didn't feel like it was a personal attack, but I'm just basically saying that you keep saying the other parents from other teams buy in, and I'm like, buy into what? Nothing has been communicated to us. So I was saying that I didn't want Tristan to go back to the team because the morale was down. And at the end of the day, if the team is always losing, you got to start holding the coaches accountable too. It's not just the players. You know what I'm saying? Coaches get fired in the NFL for losing. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like you said, this is my first go around with the football. My oldest son, he was a baseball player, so different type of crowd, saying, than the, parent wise, and yeah, it was definitely an experience. I've seen and heard some things on the side, but I've seen some crazy stuff on the baseball field. Hell, I've been a part of some crazy stuff on the baseball field, to tell you the truth. But yeah, so yeah, hey man, we made it through. Is all I know.
yeah.
Yes, indeed.
So if he decides that he wants to play football next season, I'm gonna leave it up to Shay to see whether we stay with that team or whether we try to find him another team. And also Tristan's old enough to decide if he wants to stay with them or try to find another team. But I'm gonna leave it up to them because my answer, if it was left up to me, would be go to another team.
Yeah. We'll see. He might not even want to play next year. We're gonna try to get him into this baseball. See what that's about.
Yeah. So I don't know if you saw this on like social media, but Carly Russell recently got convicted and sentenced for faking the kidnapping and making false reports, and she can serve up to a year in prison, and she's also have to pay $18,000 in fines. So when she was coming out, her and her parents were coming out the courthouse. There's this video of this reporter or whoever trying to ask them questions afterwards, and he was like, "Carly, why did you lie and say a white man kidnapped you?" And first of all, I've never heard that, but this is what this reporter said. That was the first time I heard it. But why did you lie and say a white man kidnapped you? Where was you at? All of this. And then the mom looked mad and she ran up on the dude and she tried to snatch his phone. And dude was like, "Don't touch my phone, lady." And it was just this whole back and forth. But I was just wondering if you saw that.
I did not. No, I didn't. I missed that.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I mean,
You can't put your hand on nobody's phone. You gotta. I mean, it's the free world. You out in the public space. And you know how that go. Where everybody got a camera nowadays.
and I mean, Mama, you can't be mad. We all want to know
Yeah, but
where she was at. I
because if I
want her to
saw on the
tell
street,
us.
I might shout it out. Hey, where were you? You
Yeah,
gonna
just
run up
tell us
on
where you
me?
was at. We want to know what was so important
Yeah.
that you had to fake a
Yeah.
kidnapping and
That's it. If
and
I was the judge, I'd have made that a part of the sentence.
hell yeah, I need her to serve. Like I said on the last
Either you can
episode.
serve this year, or you can go ahead and tell everybody where the hell you was going.
And what's her name? Candace Owens.
I heard
She
that.
said that she'll pay her fine if she tell us what do a sit down with her and tell us where she was at and why she told that lie. I mean, you're 25 years old. You're not 16. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a grown ass woman. I know it was a lot of rumors going around saying that her family is very strict and she didn't want them to know she was with some dude or whatever.
Hey, man, you're a grown ass woman.
Woman. I understand you staying in your parents' house, but if you decided to be out, you decide to be out. And if they put you out, they put you out. But that's what you have to deal with your grown ass. But what you don't do is call the police and lie and say you done seen a child on the side of the road.
Go move in with the brother you was kicking it with. Go move in with him.
And then I guess also the fact that she had a man, so she was cheating.
Yeah.
But they have since woken up. So
Chris Brown, one of my favorite songs. These hoes ain't lonely. Just saying, one of my favorite songs. I'm just saying. We try to tell y'all.
So the next thing I want to talk about is Blac Chyna. Now, Blac Chyna, she has 2 kids, one from the rapper Tyga and one from Rob Kardashian. And to my understanding, the kids have always been mostly with their fathers. To my understanding, I know definitely for Tyga's son, to my understanding, Blac Chyna has only saw him on the weekends, her son King. Mm-hmm. And I remember maybe a year or so ago, there was this controversy because she was talking shit about how she doesn't get a child support or she doesn't get enough child support or whatever. And then Rob and Tyga had both like responded saying that Rob had said that he pays for such and such amount for private school and he has her most of the time and blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. And then Tyga was saying you only see her on the weekends, you need to pay me more child support or something like that. See him on the weekends or whatever. Mm-hmm. So she received a lot of backlash from that. Well, now over the last several months, she has been trying to like better herself. She had like I want to say implants removed or something. Something removed, and she took her weave out, and she was like trying to be more natural and like trying to change her life. Now all of a sudden she wants more time with her son King.
How old is he now?
He's 11. 11. He's been with his dad all this time. And now you trying to better yourself. So now you trying to cause problems in the arrangement. Yeah. So she had requested like more visitation for him to communicate with her better and let her know what schools he goes to. Because apparently she don't know the schools he go to. She don't, know anything about his medical history or whatever the case may be, the prescriptions he's on and all that stuff. So she's saying she wants more of that. And there's been like a nasty battle back and forth and a lot of shit talking in media. And then finally Tyga was like, fuck it. He filed for full legal and physical custody. So now fuck the joint custody. I'm about to get full custody of my son. So now the battle done got nasty. But I guess I brought it up to say this. Like, number one, how do you feel about 11 years later, the mom saying she wants a more active role in her son's life?
That's gonna be tough. What's Was he literally going with her every weekend?
Apparently, it was the only time she had him was Friday to Monday.
Okay, so she did. They have a relationship apparently, and now she just wants more. What she wasn't trying to get full custody, right?
From what I read, it sounded like she just wanted like more
More
time with him,
time and
wanted to be able to know
yeah,
his
one
schools
yeah
and
wanted the
prescriptions and you know what I'm
lines of
saying?
communication to open up.
Right, right. But for whatever reason, now I don't know the exact details. We all know who Black China is. The
Yeah,
sex tape was out not too long ago.
yeah,
You know, she's always involved in risque behavior or whatever. But
yeah.
at the same time, we don't
And her
know how
mom
good of
and
a
her
mother
mama a
she
trip
is. Her
and her
mom was a trip. She had a hard upbringing,
yeah,
and that doesn't make you a bad parent.
no,
But
but
at the same time, if I also don't
just
understand and agree with moms who how can you leave your
yeah, that's what I'm
child?
saying. It's 11 years later, just stay in your lane. Let me go ahead and grow up. And once I get older, if we can build on that, then cool. But they don't need to take me from over here, what I'm used to some I'm kind of used to.
I was dating this guy back in the day, and he had, you know, physical custody of his daughter. And when
Hmm.
we started dating, she was 6 months old. Apparently, the mom had was running with like this cult, like this church cult or whatever.
Hmm.
And the whole everybody just picked up and moved to Florida. And so she
Hmm.
did that. Of course, her husband wasn't leaving or whatever, and she just left her child and left her husband and went to this
That's
thing.
crazy.
But she, to my understanding, I mean, I know at that time because I don't haven't seen or talked to these people in years, but at
Hmm.
that time she didn't feel like she did anything wrong. I left him with his dad, left her with her dad. I
Hmm.
understand you left her with her dad, but you left your child and your family to go be with a church. You don't see anything wrong with that?
That's crazy.
I just don't understand why people think that stuff like that is cool. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not trying to say that Black China is a bad mom, but me as a mom, I don't like being away from my child at night, let alone just dropping them off and saying, "Oh, that's your child. I'm about to go," and
Mhm.
don't look back. You know what I'm saying?
That's tough business there. Mm. Could never.
So I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I can't speak on them people, but all I know is I hadn't heard anything about Tiger being a bad dad, and I know that he's had, you know, primary custody of their son all these years. So, and at this point, he's 11 years old. He can say who he want to be with and
Yeah,
who
that's what
he
it's like.
can't. So they should take that into consideration and then
Mhm.
go from there. But at the end of the day, it's about what's best for your child and not what you want. You know what I
True,
mean?
true, true. Well, hope they work that out.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into the topic of the day. If you don't like me, you don't like my child.
Mm.
Um, I was on, as usual, one of these groups on Facebook, and it was a post about, it said something along the lines of, why is it okay for your child to have a stepdad, but it's a problem if for them to have a stepmom. And my comment was that it's not a problem for them to have a stepmom. The problem that I would have, and fortunately, I never had to deal with anything like this, but the problem that I would have is that I don't have multiple men around my son. So I don't want you to have multiple females around him either. I just feel like if you're serious with somebody, that's when you introduce them to your children. You don't just introduce them to any like random person. So I
Mhm.
absolutely would not have a problem with him having a stepmom, but I would have a problem with him having a whole bunch of females in his face that may not be nothing to him down the line. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's crazy. I've never been in that situation either. So I mean, I guess I have on the other foot. I had my oldest child when she came to live with us. Spend some time with us over the summer. My ex-wife and I, and she treated her great. You know what I'm saying? She was a great stepmother. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't no animosity or nothing like that. But yeah, so it was. It can work out either way.
Yeah, so that's what kind of prompted the topic of the day. If you don't like me, you don't like my child, because it's often situations where, let's say um my baby daddy's girlfriend didn't like me, or she was one of those females that just always have, because some females just always want to pop off at the ex just because that's the ex and they jealous or whatever the case may be, or whatever. So and just because the female like your baby daddy, that don't mean she like kids or will like your kids. Like, some women be getting jealous of other people's kids.
Mhm.
So I mean, I would like to think that Tristan's father would be mindful of who he has around our son, and also that he would check anybody if he caught them doing something wrong towards our son, or if my son tells him that she's mean to me. You know what I'm saying? I would hope that he would try to get to the bottom of it and protect him. But if me, a mom, senses that there's an issue with the other woman, then we not gonna want her around. And especially if she's always trying to come at me, trying to fight me, talk shit about me or whatever, you can't be around my child, because I feel like you're gonna be talking trash about me in front of my child, and that's a
Mhm.
no-no.
Or taking it out on your child.
Hmm. You just never know, like the stuff that people are doing to children. You know, it's just so devastating and heartbreaking. You
Hmm.
just never know who would do something to your child. That's why it's very hard for me to trust people
Yeah.
around my children, and it
When ain't
always
nobody
has been.
watching, shit, let them inner thoughts win. Some crazy shit. I could imagine. Couldn't imagine. You know what I'm saying? Mine's. You know what I'm saying? I know I do my best to protect mines, but I know they cover from head to toe anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. So when I was thinking about this topic, I was looking up some different things, and the one question that I had, and I'll ask you this, baby, because I didn't plan for you to be on the episode.
Hmm.
But the first question is, can you dictate who your ex have around your children?
No, no, you cannot. I mean, I don't know how else I could put that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you can't really dictate it. It's natural to have some concerns about who's around your child, but again, like, if you trust your ex to protect your
Yeah,
child,
that's what
then
I'm
you
saying.
really shouldn't have anything to worry about. Now the
Right.
question is, do you even trust your ex around your child? Because if you don't trust him,
Hmm.
then you're
Hmm.
not going to trust him to have a proper judgment, or her to have a proper judgment in who he has around the child.
I mean, you could just hope for the best, and saying until you see signs of, you know, a son or daughter talking about what they done seen, something inappropriate or how they were treated. So once all that go down, okay, well, he or she can't go back over there,
Hmm.
and we'll just do it like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna just keep sending my shorty off. You know what I'm saying? To be in the hands of danger in a way, when I'm not around. Even, saying the dad or mom, saying just gotta be on point.
And then some people, they'll put up a front like they like your child just
Hmm.
because they want to be close to you.
Hmm.
But then you don't never know what they saying or doing, or how the bad they talking about them, behind your back. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So you just always, it's just this always this this sense of protection, like you have to have extra protection around your kids. It don't matter if it's a stranger or a family member. You just gotta, I know for me, like it's hard for me. It's extremely hard for me to let my kids be around people.
I understand. Shit. I understand.
I was dating this guy before, and his mom, like I met his mom, and she was real nice or whatever. I didn't have a problem with her. But then I had met his sister, who was from his dad, and we ended up getting in a conversation about his mom one day, and she said that she didn't like her. She said she used to be mean to me when I was little, and kids never forget that shit. And this is a grown ass woman talking about how her brother's mom used to be mean to her when she was little. Like, why are you being mean to a child?
That's crazy.
People be really jealous about children, you know what I'm saying, from an ex. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just disturbing to me. It's very disturbing.
Yeah, I mean, there's no excuse for it, to tell you the truth. It's just I don't understand it because I guess we don't understand it because we're just not wired that way.
Yeah.
You gotta be a sick individual.
Which kind of brings me to my other question. And we talked about exes, but can you dictate who your family has around your children? Like, let's say you had a cousin who went to jail for statutory rape or who was a pedophile or something like that, but your family is like,
man, no way.
I'm just saying, like, your family was like, this is family. We don't believe he did it, or whatever the case may be. And if your children's gonna be over here, he gonna be around.
Listen, if he served time, they got good evidence that you did something inappropriate with this child. So yeah, it's just, I mean, that's a layup. That's a layup. I mean, because ain't no way my shorty gonna be around family. I mean, brother, sister. I don't care who it is. Nah, we good.
And I think that
I'll come through. I'll come kick it with you. You know what I'm saying? But you can't be around my shorty.
I think it's even more disrespectful when your family member, let's say your family member is babysitting, when your family member know that you don't want your child around somebody, or you don't want your child to do this or eat this or stay up past this time. I think it's extremely disrespectful when they disregard your rules when it comes to your child. And for me, please understand, I don't give two fucks about cutting people off. It don't matter if you family, friends, or whoever. I don't give two fucks when it comes to my children.
Yeah, it's just that point blank period.
Yeah. What else do I have? What can you do if you're concerned with your child's safety and mental health due to them being around certain individuals?
What can you do about the mental health aspect of it
and safety? So you have a dispute with your ex about who she has around your child, and your child is coming back to you saying, this person is mean to me, I don't like going over there when they're around or whatever. However, you can't technically stop your ex from being, having that person around. So how do you handle that situation? What's the appropriate way that you should handle that situation?
Just have to keep that child with me. I mean, so like I said earlier, I'm not gonna keep sending my child over there if my baby is telling me this is what's going on, and I know my child is not lying. Now, if you know your child has been known to make up some shit or whatever, you might just wait for some evidence or whatever. But nah, if she keep telling me she doing this, man, it's gonna be a problem.
But sometimes it's not that easy to just not send your child over there. They call the police, come to the house of the police saying, I'm supposed to see my child today and all this stuff. I guess the best thing, and I find this with a lot of men. A lot of men who's in like this messed up custody type of situation with a woman, they don't go to the court. But a woman will go to the court in a minute to try to increase child support on your ass, to try to take away visitation, or to get you in trouble in some way in regards to the situation. More men need to go to the court and, exercise their rights as well so they can get that situation handled. But yeah, like I definitely would not send my child back over there, and I would go to the court and I'd be like, listen, it needs to be supervised visitation. This, you have to order this person to not be around or whatever, and show my evidence, because this not whatever. And my child can even talk and say what's going on, because 9 times out of 10 the court's going to believe what the child has to say. They're going to take that into consideration.
Yeah, and then say if you got a little small baby, if she coming home with little marks on or whatever,
come in,
pamper not changed, all that type of shit. Yeah, we got it. Yeah.
Oh, if my child come with marks on them, I'm probably gonna go to jail. Well, we're recording. Yeah. So people definitely, that's a time where I feel like people should get the courts involved, because sometimes you just have to be honest and realize that you can't handle certain situations on your own without something possibly bad happening in that situation. A lot of people, like it can be the male or the female, a lot of people just be bitter and jealous because how their relationship ended, and they try to use the children to get back at the other person for hurting them or whatever the case may be. Or they're jealous about them moving on into another relationship or whatever, and then it starts becoming like a harassment type situation. And when I was like looking online and researching this topic, I had found a couple definitions, and one of them was for co-parenting harassment. And this can include such things as excessive and repeated text messages or calls, name calling, and threatening or condescending behaviors. It occurs when parents cannot agree about the care of the child or about the decisions they must make on behalf of the child. Some people just don't get along, and they shouldn't have been together, and they shouldn't have had kids with each other. And unfortunately, they're going to have a lot of problems, and courts are going to have to be involved, or something bad is going to happen in that situation. You see it all the time.
Yes. Thankfully, I haven't had to go through that.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a baby mother or two.
He said, or two.
I mean, I guess I can't call my ex-wife baby mother, right?
You have an ex-wife and you have a baby mom. You have a wife, an ex-wife, and a couple baby moms.
A couple baby moms, yes. But nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, I definitely haven't had to deal with no baby mama situations. A lot of it might just be because most of his children are grown. He has one daughter that's a minor, and so far so good with her mom. So.
Oh yeah, he gonna be on issues. Nobody want me but you, baby.
Y'all hear that, right?
That's it.
They better not want you.
No, nobody want me but you. Thank you, Father. I wouldn't have it no other way.
He's saying all the right things. Daddy, you know what? Today is Sweetest Day.
Is that what they say?
Mm-hmm. They said I've never celebrated Sweetest Day. For me to love holidays.
All the holidays you love, now you don't celebrate them.
I mean, I don't, because first of all, I didn't really know about Sweetest Day, and I never know like the date of it. You know what I'm saying? It just happened to see it on social media and be like, "Oh, it's Sweetest Day." Happy Sweetest Day, Daddy.
Thank you, love.
I love you, and I appreciate you.
Give me some sugar.
And you're gonna give me some sweets later.
I give you some sweets for sure.
Chocolate.
Some chocolate. Let's say it got some nuts in it though. Chocolate got some nuts.
I can't. I mean, that's basically all we have for you today. You have anything else to say about the subject?
No, I mean, I'm feeling real good off the smoke, off the Jose Cuervo. So sorry if I feel a little, if I look a little sluggish, eyes real low. There we go. But yeah, y'all have a good week out there.
Yeah. Um, as always, thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Let's Mom Bitch. If you would like to send me an email, you can send me an email at letsmom.b.podcast@gmail.com. You can check me out on Instagram at Let's Mom Bitch. This is a video and it is being posted on YouTube. You can check out my YouTube channel at Let's Mom Bitch. And I also have a Facebook page at Let's Mom Bitch. And as always, you can listen to me on any streaming platform. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, follow, whatever these platforms ask you to do. Please do it. I love to hear from you all. And before we go, I have to give you the affirmation for the day. And my affirmation is I am confident in both my natural and learned abilities as a mother.
Yes, yes.
With that being said, again, I thank you for tuning in to another episode of Let's Mom Bitch, and we will catch you next week.
Hello.
Bye.